Okay, so this is how to solve a Rubik's Cube advanced method. Today I'm beginning a tutorial on the Friedrich F2L solving method. First I'm going to talk about the different solving methods first. There's four main advanced solving methods. There's the Friedrich F2L, which consists of three parts, where first you build the first two layers, like I did on this cube here, in one step, rather than in two, like in the beginner's method that I taught. Then there's also, and then the second step is the OLL, which is orienting the last layer. It pretty much just means putting all the yellow stickers on the U face. And then there's the PLL, which is the permutation of the last layer, which is solving the cube, putting all the pieces in their correct place and permuting them. Then there is the large Petrus method, which consists of four parts. I think you can divide it up that way. You start by making a 1x2x3 block, or a 2x2 block rather, and then you expand it to a 2x2x3 block, like so right here, and then you finish off the first two layers, and then same thing, you orient the last layer and permute the last layer. Then there's the Rubik method. I believe it's called Rubik, I'm not sure on the pronunciation, it's Swiss. But that one consists of building a 1x2x3 block on either side of the cube, and then orienting or permuting rather the four corners on the top, and then doing the mid layer. And then there's also the expert method, which isn't used by many because it consists of learning 500 different algorithms for one layer. That's the Zeborowski-Brucham method. Not exactly sure how it works, but from what I understand, you have to build like a 2x2x2 block here in the corner, and then a 1x2x3 block on top with this 1x2 paired here to have this weird looking L thing going on the top. That one's too crazy, too much memorization for me. So I stick to the Friedrich F2L solving method. I've tried out all of those except for the Zeborowski-Brucham. I've tried the large Petrus and the Rubik method, and I just didn't like it compared to the Friedrich F2L. And I think that's because for Friedrich F2L, it's more of a learn-as-you-go kind of thing. You kind of have to teach yourself, because there's a lot of algorithms to memorize, but the majority of them are modified in your own system of solving, especially with the F2L part. And that's just the way I like to work. I like to teach myself with a few helping hands rather than being taught everything. And my helping hands were these pages here. These are printable pages of just about every possible case you can end up with on the F2L stage. There's 41 different cases of how the corners and edges can end up. And then the OLL stage here, there's 57 of those. And then the PLL, which there are 21 of those. Don't intend on memorizing all of them. If I do, it'll probably just be the PLLs. But I haven't yet. So for the F2L, you really don't need to learn all 41 cases. Really, I use like 5 or 6 different algorithms. All the F2L really consists of is finding your own system of pairing up a corner and an edge, like so, and then bringing it down and placing it in its correct slot to build the first two layers. So that one's more of a learn it yourself kind of thing, because you modify all the algorithms to only use 4 or 5, maybe 6. Then there's the OLL, which is orienting the last layer, which pretty much means you take your cube from looking like this to looking like this. And that one is just straight memorization of the algorithms. You don't have to memorize them all. I've memorized about 10, I think, and I'm doing pretty fair. I'm thinking if I memorize about half, I'll be able to get some sub-30 solves, but I'm not nearly there. But like for this case, I know this particular setup that I have on here is a cross on the top, and then 2 corners in the back, and 2 corners in the front. And since I know this case, I can do one algorithm to bring both of these corners up on the top. For the algorithm for this case is R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R. Seems like a lot when you first say it out and when you first look at it, but really it's just a 2-gen algorithm. So once you figure out, it's pretty simple. And then there's the OLLs, or the PLLs rather, which in this case I also know this particular case. Like I said, I'm probably gonna try and memorize all 21 PLLs because I want to be able to do a PLL time attack, but I'm not there yet. But for this case, I have this center edge and this center edge back here need to be swapped, and the same thing, this center edge and this center edge need to be swapped. So for this case, it doesn't matter where you hold the cube. It could be any face is the front. And then what you do is you take this mid layer, so it's lowercase L2 and then L2 like that, and then U, lowercase L2, capital L2, and then U2, lowercase L2, L2, U, lowercase L2, L2, and it's solved. That's one of the ones that can be modified to your liking, because I don't believe that that's how it is on the paper that I have, but it's just easier in the speed solve for me to do it like that. And then for the next one here, I also know this particular case, which is a little bit more lengthy and involves some regripping. That's the problem that I had to get past at first with the PLLs especially. There's a lot of regripping in the majority of them. So for a quick lesson on regripping, in notation it's just X and Y pretty much. There's also Z, but it's rarely ever used. So it's just rotating it on the X-axis or the Y-axis, so X, X prime, Y, Y prime, like that. But for this case, what I have is this center edge and this center edge need to be swapped, and these 2 corners need to be swapped, and then this one is completely permuted, as you can see. So for this one, what I do is I'm going to put the permuted side on my F face, and then R prime, U, R, U prime, R2, F prime, U prime, F, U, regrip, R, U, R prime, U prime, R2, regrip, and then U prime, and it's solved. Like I said, there's a lot of algorithms. Some of them are pretty easy to catch on right away. The PLLs are a little bit harder to learn because it takes a little bit more to figure out how to recognize them in that split second. But besides that, there's going to be a link in the description for those printable pages that I showed you. And it'll take you to Dan Harris's Cube Station. And that's that for Frederick's F2L.